Hello friends, welcome back to Global Travel Venture. Have you ever found yourself stranded in an airport with no idea what to do next? Today we share the story of John, an avid traveler who found himself in this exact predicament. John is a man who's always had a flair for adventure. He's the type who'd rather spend his weekends exploring new places than sitting at home. He's been to every continent, seen the northern lights, hiked the tallest mountains, and dived the deepest seas. But nothing, absolutely nothing prepared him for the day he'd be stuck at an airport with an unanticipated layover. Picture this. John, just returning from an exhilarating trip to the Amazon rainforest, finds himself grounded at an unfamiliar airport. His flight home has been delayed due to unpredictable weather conditions. The rain pours outside, matching his sinking heart, as he realizes he's stuck for the next 24 hours in a place he knows nothing about. His travel-savvy mind starts racing with questions. Where should he go? What should he do? Should he wait it out in the airport, or venture into the unknown city outside? The situation, though unexpected, didn't dampen John's spirit. After all, he is a seasoned traveler, and if there's one thing travel teaches you, it's to embrace the unexpected. He takes a deep breath, looks around the bustling airport, and decides to turn this unforeseen layover into an unplanned adventure. So, what did John do next? How did he navigate through this challenging situation? Well, that's what we're here to discover today. We'll follow John's journey, step by step, and learn how to turn an unexpected layover from a frustrating inconvenience into an opportunity for a spontaneous adventure. Now, let's dive into John's journey and see how he navigated his way through this unforeseen situation. John was initially taken aback and confused, just like anyone else would be. A wave of uncertainty washed over him, followed by a surge of frustration. The once familiar airport now seemed like an unfamiliar labyrinth. But you know what they say about first reactions? They're often not the best guide to follow. Now imagine the countless thoughts whirling inside his mind. Where should he go? What should he do? The overwhelming buzz of the airport, the flurry of faces rushing past, all of it contributed to the whirlpool of confusion. But let's not forget, frustration and confusion are two sides of the same coin, and it's all too easy to let these feelings cloud our judgment. Yet, amidst the chaos, the importance of keeping calm becomes paramount. Remember, a clear head can conjure up clear solutions. So, instead of succumbing to the turmoil, John decided to face it head-on. But instead of panicking, John decided to take control of the situation. The first step John took was to gather as much information as possible. You see, knowledge is power, especially when you're stuck in a place as bustling and complex as an airport. John knew that the more information he had in his hands, the better he'd be able to navigate his unexpected layover. First things first, John needed to know the status of his flight. Did it get canceled? Is it delayed? Or did he miss it? To get these answers, he turned to the airline's website. Most airlines provide real-time updates about their flights. A quick search gave John the exact status of his flight and the estimated time of departure. Next up, John wanted to understand the facilities available at the airport. Airport websites are treasure troves of information. They often have maps, lists of restaurants and shops, and details about other amenities like lounges, charging stations, and Wi-Fi availability. John quickly discovered that his airport had a lot to offer. But John didn't stop there. He also checked the local weather. Why, you ask? Well, if he decided to step out of the airport to explore the city, he wanted to be prepared. A simple weather app on his smartphone gave him the forecast for the day. And of course, John had to consider the current global situation. With the ongoing pandemic, he needed to know the local health guidelines and restrictions. He found this information from the airport's website and the local government's health department site. Now you might be thinking, that's a lot of information to gather, but remember, John had his smartphone. This small device made the process of collecting information quick and easy. And the best part, most of this information was available for free. With all this information, John felt empowered. He was no longer a traveler lost in the labyrinth of an airport. He was a man with a plan, ready to make the most of his unexpected layover. With all the necessary information at his disposal, John was ready to make his next move. John then decided to make the most of the airport facilities. Airports are like mini-cities, housing a plethora of conveniences under one roof. John, like many savvy travelers, knew this, and decided to take full advantage of these amenities. First stop, the airport lounge. Not just a place to sit, these lounges are designed to provide comfort and convenience. With plush seating, a quiet environment, and often complimentary refreshments, it's a haven for weary travelers. John found himself a cozy corner, kicked off his shoes and took a power nap. Waking up refreshed, he then sought out the charging stations. These lifesavers are found in many airports, mitigating the panic of a dying device. John plugged in his phone, tablet, and even his portable charger. Next, he discovered the airport's shower facilities. Yes, you heard right, showers at an airport. These are often found in larger airports and provide a great way to freshen up after a long flight. John took a quick shower, changed into a fresh set of clothes, and suddenly, he didn't feel so stuck anymore. Not to forget, most airports offer free Wi-Fi, allowing passengers to stay connected. John checked his emails, updated his social media, and even streamed a couple of episodes of his favorite show. Feeling peckish, John explored the food court. Airports house a variety of dining options, from fast food chains to gourmet restaurants. John enjoyed a leisurely meal, savoring the flavors and watching the world go by. Finally, John visited the airport's shopping facilities. From duty-free shops to high-end boutiques, airports offer a retail therapy like no other. John browsed through a bookshop, picked up a travel pillow from a convenience store, and even indulged in a little duty-free shopping. So you see, being stuck at an airport isn't the end of the world. It's about making the most of what's available to you. And that's exactly what John did. John was now rested and recharged, ready to tackle the next step. With his energy back, John decided to explore the local area. So what does that entail? Well, you'd be surprised at how much you can discover just a stone's throw away from the airport. Airports are generally located near bustling areas, filled with interesting aspects of local life waiting to be explored. For John, this meant a chance to immerse himself in the local culture and taste the unique flavors of the region's cuisine. Remember, every place has its own unique story to tell. A walk around the neighborhood can reveal charming local shops, historic landmarks, and even tranquil parks where you can rest your weary feet. For John, the sights, sounds, and smells of the local market were a sensory feast. He found himself drawn to a small family-run restaurant where he tasted the most delicious dumplings, unlike anything he'd ever had before. Stepping out of the airport doesn't just mean sightseeing, it can also provide a much-needed change of pace. After hours of being cooped up in the airport, the fresh air, open spaces, and the hustle and bustle of everyday life can be incredibly refreshing. For John, this was a welcome break from the sterile environment of the airport. And let's not forget, exploring the local area can also be an opportunity to meet and interact with the locals. John struck up conversations with shopkeepers, restaurant owners, and other locals, getting a feel for the local way of life. These interactions not only enriched his experience but also gave him a sense of connection to a place he was merely passing through. So the next time you find yourself stuck at an airport, consider stepping out and exploring the local area. You might discover hidden gems, taste unfamiliar flavors, and make unexpected connections. Remember, every journey, even an unplanned layover, has the potential to be an adventure. John's unexpected layover had now turned into an exciting mini-adventure. After exploring the local area, John returned to the airport to prepare for his next flight. Now, gearing up for the next part of his journey, he knew he had to be meticulous, because preparation is key when it comes to air travel. The first step John took was checking in online. This digital era blessing allows you to secure your seat, saving you from the hassle of long check-in lines at the airport. It's a straightforward process, usually beginning 24 hours before departure, and it can be conveniently done via the airline's website or mobile app. With his boarding pass on his phone, John moved on to the next step, ensuring all his travel documents were in order. This isn't just about having your passport ready, it's about checking the validity and making sure you have all necessary visas or permits. If you're like John, you'd also keep a copy of these documents on your phone or email, because you never know when you might need a backup. Next, John made sure his luggage was ready to go. He double-checked the weight and size of his carry-on and checked bags, making sure they complied with the airline's regulations. He also ensured that all his essentials, like his phone charger, a good book, and a travel pillow, were in his carry-on, because comfort and entertainment are crucial for a smooth flight. Now, with his boarding pass and luggage ready, the final step was to keep an eye on the flight status. Flight timings can change due to a variety of reasons. Weather conditions, technical issues, you name it. So, John made it a point to periodically check the flight status on the airport display boards and on his airline's website. By now, John had covered all his bases. He was ready for his next flight, not just physically but mentally too. The layover had turned into an unexpected adventure, and he was now more excited than ever for the journey ahead. John was now fully prepared and eagerly waiting for his next flight. John's unexpected layover turned out to be an adventure that he hadn't planned for. At first, he was just another weary traveler stranded in the sterile confines of an airport. But what started as an unanticipated delay became a journey of discovery and enjoyment. John's first instinct was to gather information. He approached the airline staff, sought advice, and armed himself with the knowledge about his situation. He didn't choose to be a passive spectator, he took charge. He asked questions, got answers, and made a plan. Then, he realized the potential of the airport facilities. He didn't see them as mere waiting rooms or pit stops. Instead, he saw them as opportunities to relax, to refresh, and to recharge. He enjoyed a meal, read a book, and even caught up on some much-needed sleep. He made the airport his temporary home, a sanctuary amidst the chaos of travel. But John didn't stop there. He stepped out of the airport and into the local area. He saw it as a chance to explore, to learn, and to experience something new. He tasted local cuisine, visited nearby attractions, and immersed himself in a culture he hadn't planned on experiencing. He turned his layover into a mini vacation, a bonus to his travel itinerary. Finally, as his next flight approached, he prepared himself. He checked his flight status, recharged his devices, and made sure he was ready for the next leg of his journey. He took the time to reflect on his unexpected adventure, cherishing the memories he had made. So, the next time you find yourself stuck at an airport, remember John's story, and turn your unexpected layover into an adventure of your own. Being stuck at an airport doesn't have to be a nightmare. As we've journeyed through this video, we've seen that an unexpected layover can be much more than an inconvenience. It can be an opportunity for adventure, discovery, and even relaxation. Let's recap the main points. First, we discussed the initial shock and confusion, which is a natural reaction. But remember, the sooner you gather your thoughts, the sooner you can start gathering information. Use your resources, the airport's information desk, digital screens, or even your own smartphone. Knowledge is power, especially when navigating an unexpected situation. Next, we talked about making the most of airport facilities. Whether it's indulging in a good meal, catching up on sleep, getting a workout in, or even pampering yourself at the airport spa, there are numerous ways to pass the time. Embrace the amenities available to you. They're there to enhance your experience. We also explored the idea of venturing out into the local area. If time and visa regulations permit, why not turn your layover into a mini vacation? Discover local cuisine, soak up the culture, or just take a leisurely stroll around the city. You might find yourself falling in love with a place you never planned to visit. And finally, we discussed preparing for your next flight. Check in early, keep an eye on the flight status, and make sure you're ready when it's time to board. It's all about being proactive and staying ahead of the game. But most importantly, we've seen how being resourceful and open-minded can turn an unexpected layover into a memorable experience. So next time you find yourself stuck at an airport, don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. Instead, embrace the unexpected, seize the moment, and make the most of your time. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We truly appreciate it. Until next time, safe travels.